Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 7. Robert had a way of finding the quiet, aching truth in any story, Meryl Streep once said. That truth defined his films, and the enduring legacy he leaves behind. Robert Benton, a giant of American film storytelling, passed away peacefully at the age of 92. He leaves a body of work marked by deep emotional resonance and unforgettable characters. Though gentle in demeanor, his voice in cinema shaped generations. Born in Texas, Benton's early career began not in movies, but in magazines. Long before the cameras rolled, he was an art director at Esquire, building the foundation for his visual storytelling. His breakthrough came with the groundbreaking screenplay for Bonnie and Clyde, which earned him his first Oscar nomination and helped change the tone of Hollywood in the late 60s. But it was Kramer vs. Kramer that truly cemented his place in history. The film won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay for Benton. Millions were moved by its raw, emotional honesty, and by performances he helped bring to life from Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep. Benton earned 3 Oscars and 6 total nominations, but he never made the work about himself. Films like Places in the Heart, Nobody's Fool, and The Late Show showed his range and heart. He also co-wrote Superman, bringing a human touch to a larger-than-life hero. Actors loved working with him. He helped guide 8 Oscar-nominated performances, showing a rare ability to connect with actors and bring out their best. Sally Field, who won for Places in the Heart, once called him one of the kindest visionaries I've ever known. Benton passed away from natural causes. He was preceded in death by his beloved wife, Sally, with whom he shared nearly 60 years of marriage. Friends and colleagues remember him not just as a brilliant filmmaker, but as a humble mentor and loyal friend. His legacy lives in every frame, every line of dialogue, and in the many lives he touched, on screen and off. Tributes to Robert Benton. Number 6. I am deeply saddened by his loss and only wish he could have seen the final cut. He was one of a kind, said director Paul Sinecor, remembering the raw talent and heart that Samuel French brought to every project he touched. Samuel French, beloved actor and proud Texan, passed away at the age of 45 after a courageous battle with cancer. Known for his honesty on screen and warmth off it, French left behind a legacy of unforgettable roles and meaningful connections across the film and television world. His breakout role as Agent C.J. Robinson in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon stunned audiences. A former cowboy turned undercover FBI agent, French gave the role grit, heart, and subtle power. Scorsese himself chose him for the film after a Waco casting call, drawn to Samuel's unmistakable presence. Before that, Samuel had quietly worked his way through the ranks, landing roles in series like Fear the Walking Dead, the historical epic Texas Rising, and the crime drama Monsters Within, where he brought depth and soul to his character, Cyrus. His final work, the upcoming film Towpath, shows him at his most fearless and alive. Recently, Samuel was honored with the Best Supporting Actor award at the 2025 Cowpokes International Film Festival, a moment of well-deserved recognition for a career built on dedication and grit. Born in Waco, Texas, and raised with strong roots in family and values, French began his acting journey in Austin and Dallas. Every role he took, big or small, carried the same commitment. Those who worked with him frequently spoke of his generosity, humility, and natural ability to elevate every scene. Samuel French is survived by his daughter, Madison, her mother, Melinda Acosta, his brothers Andy and Danny, and his parents, Evelyn and Thomas. His love for his daughter was a bright, constant light in his life, often mentioned with quiet pride between takes and interviews. His loss is felt profoundly, not just in the industry but among friends, loved ones, and fans touched by his performances. Samuel's fire for the craft, his courage, and his kindness will continue to inspire those who knew him and those who will discover his work in years to come. Tributes to Samuel French. Number 5. I never met a man with more heart for Missouri, once said a colleague about Kit Bond. Those who worked alongside him would agree, whether in the State House or the Senate, Kit led with compassion, principle, and a steady dedication to the people he served. At 33, he became Missouri's youngest governor and the first Republican to hold that office in nearly 3 decades. It was just the beginning of a career that would span over 40 years. Twice elected governor, then 4 times to the U.S. Senate, Kit Bond shaped policy with a rare gift, bringing people together across divides to get real work done. Rooted deeply in his hometown of Mexico, Missouri, Kit never lost sight of his values. He championed causes close to home but carried them to the national stage, like when he helped turn a small pilot project for parents into Parents as Teachers, a global early learning initiative now used in all 50 states and 6 countries. He called it one of his proudest achievements. Many would say it's one of his most lasting. He co-authored the Family and Medical Leave Act, opened doors for American trade in Southeast Asia, and played a central role on intelligence and appropriations committees. A Princeton graduate who finished top of his law school class, he could have chosen any path. He chose public service. Always approachable, with a warm handshake and a clear mind, Kit treated constituents like neighbors, because to him, they were. Even after retiring, he stayed active in policy, mentoring future leaders and lending insight through his consulting firm. Kit passed away peacefully at the age of 86, surrounded by loved ones. While the cause was not publicly detailed, his legacy remains clear. In the laws he helped pass, the families he supported, and the example he set for how government can work when guided by care and conviction. President Bill Clinton once said Kit Bond made a real difference in the lives of everyday Americans. That's a legacy few can claim, and one Missouri will never forget. Tributes to Kit Bond. Number 4. I learned early that I had to sing for my survival, Leila Negra once reflected. That quiet strength, born from adversity and carried through song, defined an extraordinary life that spanned history, courage, and transformation. Leila Negra, known offstage as Marie Najar, has passed away at the age of 95 in Hamburg. She died peacefully, leaving behind a legacy marked by remarkable resilience and creative spirit. As a child, she navigated some of the darkest chapters in Germany's history. Born to a Ghanaian father and a German Creole mother, she grew up in Hamburg during the Nazi era. Denied basic education and labeled an outsider, she endured forced labor. Yet, in a strange twist of fate, She found protection by appearing in background roles in propaganda films, including Munchausen and Quacks in Africa. After the war, she emerged with a voice that captured audiences across Europe. As Leila Negra, she became a beloved singer in the 1950s. Though in her 20s, she was portrayed as a child star, a reflection of the times. Her performance in Toxie, a film addressing race in post-war Germany, made her presence impossible to ignore. Songs like Die Süßesten Früchte became hits, showcasing her warmth and depth, but her career took another bold turn. At the peak of her fame, she walked away from the spotlight. Choosing to serve others, she began a new life as a nurse, a decision that spoke volumes about her character, selfless, brave, and grounded. Friends remember her as kind, strong, and thoughtful. Public voices have said her life was a lens through which we see both injustice and hope. One colleague said, "Leila gave a face and a voice to a generation that might otherwise have been forgotten." Leila Negra's path was never easy, but she transformed it into something meaningful, for herself and for those who came after. She carried music, history, and hope in equal measure. Her story will continue to inspire, both as a cautionary tale and as a symbol of quiet, steady strength. Tributes to Leila Negra. Number 3. Books should entertain, yes, but also help young people to ask big questions. Aidan Chambers once said, "He didn't just write stories, he wrote invitations to think, feel, and grow." His storytelling helped shape the way young adult fiction inspires reflection and empathy. Aidan passed away peacefully at the age of 90. He leaves behind a life full of words, wonder, and immense contribution to literature. His books didn't just fill shelves, they opened minds. With titles like Break Time, Dance on My Grave, and Postcards from No Man's Land, he dared to address complex emotions with honesty and grace. Many consider Postcards from No Man's Land his masterpiece. It won both the Carnegie Medal in the UK and the Michael L. Prince Award in the US. But all his work echoed a deep respect for young readers' intelligence and a passion for stories that mattered. In 2002, he received the Hans Christian Andersen Medal, one of the highest honors in children's literature. Aidan's journey started in a monastery, continued in classrooms, and found its true voice in books. Alongside his wife Nancy, he co-founded Thimble Press and the magazine Signal, powerful platforms that nurtured children's literature and those who wrote it. He believed books should challenge and comfort. His novels offered both. Few authors have balanced thoughtful depth and accessibility as he did. Writers who followed in his footsteps often credit him as a mentor, both in print and in person. Author Mallory Blackman once said, "Aidan Chambers showed us that writing for young people could be art." His influence helped shape generations of writers, including me. His passing marks the end of an era, but his stories will continue to live in the hearts of readers. He leaves behind his beloved wife, a global community of fans, and an enduring legacy that will keep guiding young minds. Aidan Chambers changed the landscape of literature for young people. His voice was calm, honest, and brave. And though he is no longer with us, his stories remain, ready to speak to the next reader, just as they did for those before. Tributes to Aidan Chambers. Number 2, John believed theater should always have heart, and he lived that belief every single day. John Gale, the legendary producer behind some of the most beloved productions in British theater, passed away peacefully at 95. Surrounded by family, he left this world after a short illness, having shaped the stage like few others in his time. Spanning a career of over 60 years, John produced more than 100 shows, bringing laughter, wonder, and insight to generations. From the record-breaking comedy, No Sex Please, We're British, to the sharp wit of Boeing, his productions became part of West End history. His bold choices and deep respect for classic storytelling gave life to adaptations like The Wings of the Dove and Where Angels Fear to Tread. But it wasn't just what he produced, it was how. John Gale had a gift for spotting the extraordinary in others. As director of the Chichester Festival Theatre, he supported rising talents like Nicholas Hytner and Sam Mendes, helping launch careers that would go on to shape the global stage. His leadership didn't stop backstage. As president of the Society of London Theatre, he helped shape what are now the Olivier Awards and made live theatre more accessible through the creation of the half-price ticket booth in Leicester Square. His impact continues every time an audience rises for a standing ovation. Away from the footlights, John was passionate about rugby, serving as chairman of London Welsh Rugby Club. After retiring, he threw his energy into education, co-founding the Brit program at the University of South Florida, giving young creatives a bridge between cultures and art forms. Honored with an OBE in 1987, John never stopped championing the power of theater to connect people. He made the impossible feel inevitable, shared a former colleague, and he always did it with grace. John shared his long, joyful life with his wife, Leila, in a partnership friends called legendary in its own right. This week, theaters will dim their lights in memory of a man whose light never truly fades. The curtain may have fallen, but his legacy plays on in every laugh, every tear, and every rising curtain. Tributes to John Gale. What's trending on the internet? News 1. Vanessa Redgrave has recently shared a heartbreaking reflection about her daughter, Natasha Richardson, who passed away in 2009 following a skiing accident. On what would have been Natasha's 62nd birthday, Redgrave's poignant words were shared by her other daughter, Jolie Richardson. "I will never be reconciled to her dying in the snow, and I'm sure that every mother who has lost a child will have that pain always," the 88-year-old actress said in the message dictated to Jolie. Natasha Richardson, beloved for her roles in The Parent Trap and her Tony Award-winning performance in Cabaret, was just 45 when she suffered a fatal head injury while skiing at Mont Tremblant Resort in Canada. Initially declining medical attention after what seemed like a minor fall on a beginner's trail, she later complained of a headache. The injury proved catastrophic, an epidural hematoma, and she passed away 2 days later with her husband, actor Liam Neeson, by her side. Redgrave also recalled the beautiful beginning of Natasha's life, sharing how she was named after a character in Tolstoy's War and Peace and came swimming out of my womb ready for anything. Natasha's legacy continues to be celebrated by her family, including her sons Michael and Daniel, and through the memorable performances she left behind on stage and screen. Her warmth and talent touched many lives, from co-stars like Lindsay Lohan to countless fans who still remember her vibrant spirit and remarkable talent. News 2. Tom Hardy has opened up about his ongoing health struggles after years of performing physically demanding stunts in action movies. The 47-year-old actor, known for his roles in films like The Dark Knight Rises, Mad Max, Fury Road, and the Venom trilogy, recently revealed that his body is falling to bits due to numerous injuries sustained throughout his career. In an interview with Esquire published on May 9th, Hardy shared the extent of his physical ailments, which include 2 knee surgeries, a herniated disc in his back, sciatica, plantar fasciitis, and a pulled tendon in his hip. Despite these challenges, the actor isn't completely giving up hope, as he's considering stem cell therapy and other alternative treatments to help manage his condition. Hardy's candid admission gives fans a glimpse into the less glamorous side of action stardom. Despite his body taking a serious toll, the actor has continued working, recently starring in the Netflix film Havoc and the crime series Mobland, alongside Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. What's particularly touching about Hardy's revelation is his honesty about aging and physical limitations. Rather than hiding behind a facade of invincibility, he's sharing his very human experience with fans. His openness reminds us that even our strongest movie heroes face real-life challenges, making his impressive body of work all the more remarkable. As Hardy moves forward in his career, fans will undoubtedly appreciate both his talent and his courage in sharing his personal health journey. News 3. The search for a missing fishing boat captain has been suspended after his vessel sank off the Washington coast last week. John Stevenson, a 44-year-old captain from Newport, went missing when the 68-foot fishing vessel Captain Raleigh sank near the entrance to Grays Harbor on Friday morning, May 9th. 3 crew members were rescued quickly after the incident, but Captain Stevenson remained missing. The Coast Guard called off its search Friday night after an extensive effort that included multiple boat crews, helicopters from both the Coast Guard and Navy, and assistance from a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers dredge. A Navy dive team attempted to search the sunken vessel, which was located in 40 feet of water outside the navigable channel, but faced challenges due to debris, poor visibility, and strong currents that prevented them from entering the vessel. "This is a tragedy for our fishing communities," said Captain Justin Noggle, commander of Coast Guard Sector Columbia River. "I'm thankful our Coast Guard crews were able to save the 3 crew members quickly, and our hearts are with the family and friends of everyone impacted by this tremendous loss." The local community has rallied to support the captain's family, with the fishermen's wives holding a vigil in Newport on Saturday evening and starting a GoFundMe campaign. A commercial salvage team from Seattle is now developing a plan to raise the vessel, which was a crab and shrimp boat based in Warrenton, in hopes of finding Captain Stevenson. News 4. Sometimes life takes unexpected turns, and earlier this week, we were reminded of just how precious health and family really are. Bindi Irwin, the 26-year-old conservationist and daughter of the legendary crocodile hunter Steve Irwin, had to step away from the spotlight due to an urgent medical emergency, just as she prepared for the annual Steve Irwin Gala in Las Vegas. In a heartwarming and candid update from her hospital bed, Bindi shared that after months of discomfort, she had to have her appendix removed and, during the same procedure, doctors also treated her for endometriosis, discovering and removing 14 new lesions. She also received a much-needed repair for a hernia she developed during childbirth 4 years ago. Bindi expressed deep gratitude for her medical team at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York and for the outpouring of support from fans and loved ones. You might remember that Bindi has been open about her decade-long journey living with endometriosis, raising awareness for this often misunderstood condition. Through it all, she stayed positive, crediting her strong family, especially her brother Robert, who stepped up to host the gala in her absence, and her husband Chandler for their never-ending support. So, as Bindi rests and recovers, we're left not only with admiration for her courage, but also with a renewed appreciation for the power of community and family. She's already looking forward to the next Steve Irwin Gala in Brisbane this November, proving once again that she truly embodies her late father's legacy of resilience, hope, and an unwavering love for life. Stay strong, Bindi. Your wildlife warrior family is cheering you on. News 5. Yankees fans received difficult news as infielder Oswaldo Cabrera has been placed on the IL with a left ankle fracture. The 26-year-old sustained this serious injury during Monday night's game against the Seattle Mariners while scoring on a sacrifice fly from Aaron Judge. The injury occurred in dramatic fashion during the 9th inning of the Yankees' 11-5 victory. After tagging up from third base, Cabrera evaded the tag from Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh, but his ankle buckled under his momentum as he attempted to stop. Despite managing to reach back and tag home plate, Cabrera remained on the ground, unable to move. The severity of the situation became immediately apparent as medical staff rushed to his aid. The scene grew somber when an ambulance drove onto the field to transport Cabrera to receive medical attention, leaving players from both teams standing in silence. Cabrera has been a bright spot in the Yankees clubhouse, known for his positive attitude and exemplary work ethic. His teammate Trent Grisham, who hit 2 solo home runs in Monday's game, spoke highly of him, saying, "The way that he cares for other people, it just pours out of him. If you watch him play baseball, you get a taste of it. But when you get to know him, it's so much deeper than that. There is a silver lining for the team, as veteran infielder DJ LeMahieu is expected to be activated prior to Tuesday's game, providing the Yankees with an experienced replacement at third base as they maintain their 3-game lead in the American League East. As Cabrera begins his recovery journey, he'll undoubtedly be strengthened by the support of his teammates and fans who appreciate not just his contributions on the field, but his character and joy that manager Aaron Boone described as an example in so many ways for anyone to look to for how to go about living their life. Number 1. It was as if the music had been waiting for him all along, a fellow musician once said of Matthew Best, words that echo the way he lived, with harmony, purpose, and grace. Matthew Best passed away peacefully at the age of 68, a towering figure in classical music. His legacy stretches across concert halls, recordings, and classrooms. He was only 16 when he founded the Corydon Singers, a glimpse of the visionary he would become. What started as a youth-led ensemble grew under his direction into one of Britain's finest choral groups, joined later by the Corydon Orchestra. Their performances, particularly of Brahms and Bruckner, remain treasured by audiences and critics alike. As a bass singer, Best brought extraordinary depth and power to roles like Wotan in Wagner's Ring Cycle and Scarpia in Tosca. His voice filled theaters in over 100 cities around the world. Yet it was never just about performance for him, it was about connection. He conducted with passion, collaborating with leading orchestras such as the English Chamber Orchestra and the London Mozart Players. His more than 30 albums for Hyperion Records are still regarded as benchmarks of choral and symphonic interpretation. Best also picked up the composer's pen early in his career. His opera Alice, premiered at Aldeburgh, stood out for its imagination and bold style, but perhaps his most meaningful role was as an educator. At the Royal Northern College of Music, generations of singers found not only a tutor but a mentor who believed in their potential. He gave them tools, confidence, and often that one kind word at just the right moment. Behind the baton and the bass lines was a man known for warmth, quick wit, and unwavering kindness. Colleagues recall rehearsals filled with laughter, insights, and encouragement. Students remember the way he listened. In the words of one former student, "He didn't just shape our voices, he helped shape our lives." Matthew Best leaves behind his beloved family, a grateful community, and a lifetime of music. His impact cannot be measured in notes or accolades alone, but in the inspiration he gave so freely. Tributes to Matthew Best. His voice reached the soul and stayed there, a fan once wrote about John Edwards. A simple truth that defines the man and his music. John Edwards, lead vocalist of the Spinners and longtime soul singer, passed away at the age of 80.